Welcome to another League of Legends match. I'm Kevin J Gaming.
I'm Leviathan.
And this is a match between the teams of Team EdgeWorth and Team OPMJ.
These two teams are going to have a friendly best of 3 match, and with that, let's get into Champion Selective Game 1.
So, as we can see, OPMJ has already banned out Vi, a very powerful jungler. Koshi's known for playing her, but even their own jungler, Caster X Wizard, is very well known for playing Vi.
He certainly is, and I think that he realizes the power of it, and he's afraid that maybe they won't be able to get to it, so he decided to take it out just for safety.
Definitely an interesting ban there from EdgeWorth as well. The ban Nautilus, of all things.
Nautilus has very heavy CC, although you may not see him as much in professional games. He is still very strong, and if he gets ahead early, if he's not dealt with as a threat, then he will cause a lot of mayhem, I think.
Definitely. I can see why they would ban it, but it's just an interesting ban overall. I guess they just don't want to deal with the CC. Now, interesting bans there. We got the Thresh ban from Team OPMJ, which Thresh is just such a powerful support. And then we got the Vayne ban from EdgeWorth. And Forgotten's known for being a very, very powerful Vayne player. I'm surprised they would take it away from themselves.
But at the same time, Zeaslea does play Vayne, which should most certainly make you wonder, why.
I guess they don't trust Forgotten's skill, or I guess they have a different idea for their team comp, maybe. Interesting thing. The last bans are Cho'Gath and Nasus.
Nasus is definitely being understandable ban for taking out. You do not want to deal with Nasus. If you can't take him out early game, then he's basically unstoppable late game. As for the Cho'Gath, I'm not entirely sure why they would decide to. I feel like there's bigger threats than Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath has just such a. I'm gonna guess Cho'Gath just has so much natural bulk and tank power that you can almost account for having 2 tanks on one team. He can get so big with his ult, giving him so much health.
He physically becomes big. He just stops anything that you throw at him.
So, especially when you're picking a champion like Elise, which OPMJ has picked, you don't want him taking the cocoons. You don't want a big target in the way. So, interesting picks coming out from EdgeWorth. We've got a Lucian, probably going to be 80 carry.
Yeah.
And we've got an Evelynn.
I think Evelyn's a very good pick, especially Season 4. The ward changes force that bottom lane into buying more pink wards, and because the pink wards are so easy to clear out now, it just makes Evelynn that much stronger.
And Koshi's a very good Evelynn player, so we can definitely see some huge power coming out of her. So we've got a Sejuani on Team OPMJ. Very powerful jungler, definitely accounts for Nautilus. Nautilus has a lot of CC, Sejuani's kind of the same. And we've got a Jinx.
Jinx, definitely. Zeaslea is a good Jinx player, and I think that is a very safe pick on his part.
Definitely a strong champion. Got strong all game around. I mean, you got the rockets. They have the huge range when you're using Pow Pow, and then he's got an ultimate that executes anyone with low health, especially when you have a jungler that can't tank like Evelynn. So definitely some strong picks from both sides already. You've got huge engage coming from Team OPMJ between Elise and Sejuani. And so far, EdgeWorth's only kind of picked damage. Now they're hovering over Leona.
I think Leona would definitely make a good compensation for some of the damage that they don't have. She also brings in a lot of the hard CC, which they haven't brought in yet.
Especially since Jinx doesn't have a lot of escape. Jinx doesn't...
she relies on getting a kill or an assist to get out of there. She also has the her W there, but I feel like that's not enough to stop most hard engages.
And we got the Brand over here for Freeze and Chill. Freeze and Chill is a huge Brand player. He loves playing Brand. So if we get the Brand pick here, definitely...
I think that would be very scary. He's very comfortable on that champion.
And it definitely brings perfect synergy with... whoa, what's with these...
Switching out into
look at these crazy picks. They've switched over to Rengar and Shyvana afterwards. So, I'm not sure where that's... Rengar... One of them is going to be top one.
I'm going to...
I don't know.
Rengar mid. I think Rengar could definitely assassinate someone who's weak mid, and we can see OPMJ looking for more of an AD mid. That's why I would assume that the Riven will be mid now to deal with that
I'm
Rengar.
thinking maybe the Evelynn's not jungle anymore. It's definitely a tough tough to decide here. We've got Riven and Annie being hovered over just to get these last picks out of it. We got Riven and Annie from Team OPMJ.
Riven is definitely making a comeback in terms of playing middle
lane. Yeah. So Riven can play anywhere. He can be top, be mid. He can even feasibly jungle Riven, but Riven brings a lot of power to any team. She's just a strong champion by herself. She can almost carry a whole team by herself, but she does have flaws. Like, she isn't actually invincible, and lo and behold, we're going with the Leona support after all. So Leona Brand would have been a really good synergy. I mean,
yeah, definitely. You have the Leona ult on top of the Brand ult. I feel like that would throw a lot of damage. The Annie with the Jinx is also definitely very strong, and Jinx doesn't have that much chasing power, putting aside her W and if she has a red buff, so the Annie holding down the enemy is definitely very strong.
And in the end, it was a Rengar mid. Of all things,
This will be definitely interesting. If Rengar facing the Riven mid, it's basically like a top lane matchup.
It's very, very unconventional game we've got here, because you don't have any powerful AP mid, which you would expect, but I mean, there's Evelynn and Elise for either team, which are basically huge AP damage anyway, even though they're not going to be playing a conventional mid lane. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, you've got a strong Riven mid, you've got the strong Rengar mid, who's going to be huge late game once he has his ultimate, and he can really just jump and burst one person. So definitely going to be interesting to see what happens.
So with that, let's jump into the loading screen.
And we are into the game. Everyone has summoned, and let's see how this game goes. So, we've seen the team comps. What do you think their strategy is? Both sides. What do you think they're going for?
Well, I would say that OPMJ is definitely going to be looking for heavy aggressive.
Definitely seen there by the Riven, the Jinx, the Sejuani. They definitely got strong engage power. Huge engage power.
They have some good stuns. They have an Elise stun. You have your Sejuani. Like all the characters have a way to hold down some of the opponents.
It's definitely a very potent engage team. And EdgeWorth on the purple side here has got an interesting engage team, but it's not in the same way. They have Leona's ult, but
they have bursty champions for sure. I'm not too sure about their synergy. I think that OPMJ has stronger synergy.
I don't know. I mean, you can get the Evelyn's Agony Embrace, the ultimate, hits everyone, slows them, makes Leona's ult easier to land.
Yeah.
And then you
Shyvana diving in there.
Shyvana diving in on the background. You can make it work, but it's still a very interesting team comp, to say the least. So both teams seem to be playing it very safe, just going to protect their blue. Jinx is protecting the red of Team OPMJ.
Interesting that EdgeWorth has opted out to not buy any of the red trinket.
We don't remember the name of the red trinket, but whatever the red trinket's called, they didn't go for it. I guess they figured as Riven's like, "Hey, Evelyn, what are you doing?
Riven putting out some damage.
What are you doing in my jungle, Ev? Get out of here! Get out of here! I don't want to deal with you." So, as we were saying, they didn't get the red orb, the red trinket, which lets you clear out wards. Now, I'm guessing they're decided on that because Evelyn doesn't need it. Evelyn's going to be invisible,
definitely,
no matter how many wards they put out. So. Definitely just a basic opening. Evelyn needs a huge help on her blue because she's a very squishy jungler, and with the recent strength added to the jungle, it's hard for her to clear the camps without taking too much damage.
Now, well, we were a little wrong here. It's looking like it's Shyvana mid instead of Rengar.
But it's Freeze and Chill is a mid player, so that is still like a lane swamp from their perspective. So interesting way to play. I mean. Have a Shyvana mid. I guess it's I don't know what the Shyvana Riven matchup is like, but it's interesting.
I play a bit of Shyvana myself. Play her jungle. Don't know much about Riven, but it would definitely be interesting. I think that Shyvana has some pretty good sustain, but Riven does have very good poke and has a very good one-on-one fight.
It's an interesting dynamic to see. It's so unconventional. We don't know what to talk about, but
Sejuani going
Sejuani in the wrong part of town. Actually, no, it was. Yeah, almost gets the kill there. Sejuani was in the wrong part of town. It was just Shyvana decided to go check in on red at the right time.
Yeah.
So Shyvana made a good call.
I think she could have knocked that out.
Wow, damage coming out from Rengar. That is going to be the kill.
Blood.
First blood from Freeze and Chill. Confused me because I was expecting it to be the top laner, but no, it's Freeze and Chill in the top lane. He gets the kill on Jimenez for you. I still can't get his name right.
Jimenez for you.
Jimenez for you. So, still.
There's a lot of 1v1ing. Like I was saying, Riven is very potent 1v1, and he's trying to exploit that as much as possible. You can see Shyvana's low on health. She's burning through all her pots, but Riven just, whenever she goes in, she's putting out damage. He already has that stun.
Everyone's coming in for the gank. It's going to be good damage with those hate spikes, but I didn't get turret aggro on that, so she's not going to go down. She's just going to run away, especially when you got two squishy champions trying to deal with Riven, because Riven does weird like AoE damage because
she has that shield. And, you got them trying to burst her down, but that shield has such a good cooldown.
And getting a little bit of engage there, just basic trading back and forth coming in from both teams. It's very high action game. They're just trying to harass each other, but they're both so strong.
Both sides playing very aggressive.
It's just an interesting dynamic to see this Rengar in the top lane. But Rengar is going to keep bullying. Oh, wow. Sejuani comes in, and that is going to take out Shocket goes down. Very easy engage from Sejuani because Sejuani brings a lot of CC to any team fight. Something that Evelyn doesn't have. Not until she hits 6. And even then, Agni's Embrace doesn't give that much of a slow. So, it's going to be hard for EdgeWorth to hit 6. Once they all hit 6, the game can start changing into their favor. So, we have to see how these team fights play out.
EdgeWorth definitely trying to keep away all those level 6s from EdgeWorth. They definitely get very strong. They have very powerful ultimates that are very game changing. Leona stun is huge. Shyvana ultimate again huge, and they're trying to stop them from getting that as well as possible. And that you see that with the Evelyn ganking as much as would be possible.
Yeah, and something I just realized that's on Team OPMJ is they have execute power. I mean, you've got Jinx's rocket, does percent of missing health. You've got Riven's ultimate, percent of missing health. And then you have Elise Spider Form, her leap, percent of missing health. So, maybe what they're going to want to try and do, especially when you have such a powerful engage like Sejuani, you're going to want to engage, put out some good AoE damage. I mean, you've got Tibbers, it's going to do the AoE damage on everybody. And then you just throw in a Riven ult that hits everybody, does all the damage, or you throw a Jinx ult that hits someone, does a lot of damage. Can almost get a can almost get quadras, triples, get huge multi-kills off this. So they may not have as much AoE damage that can really line it up like a Karthus would have, but definitely got an interesting dynamic going. Strong engage, and that assassination power.
We have Sejuani moving in top, trying to make something happen, but it looks like Rengar saw her coming and is playing on the defensive.
Definitely pretty good. Nothing happened in the bottom lane. Rengar's like, hey, buddy, how's it going?
Giving her a bit of a friendly taunt there.
Giving a little bit of a laugh, making things happen. So, Rengar does so much damage to Elise.
Yeah, very good burst. He's surprisingly tanky. I really feel that Sejuani could have stayed top a little longer and at least given some time for farming.
Sejuani tries to mess with Rengar, but she just can't. She doesn't have any damage yet. Rengar has too much natural sustain. So it's really tough to handle Rengar, especially when he's getting big. I mean, no different than Shyvana in the mid lane, who's already rushed a Chain Fest to deal with Riven's damage.
You can see, I mean, Riven's still doing a lot of damage.
And
Sejuani jumping in.
Sejuani ult is going to be enough if she gets the fiery thing. No, she doesn't need to shoot her little attack. But that's just one more basic attack, clears that up, and luckily no one's around to clean that up. And
Leona committing a bit too far here.
But Evelyn's on the back end with the Agony's Embrace. Gonna try and kill Annie. Will they get the hate spike? One more hate spike should finish that off. But
she doesn't seem to even notice Annie.
And gets the piercing light. I think they're just saving it up. I don't think you have enough.
It looks like he's in the clear.
Jinx seems to have gotten out alive. Zeus Leia survives just ever so slightly. I'm surprised about that. They try to switch focus on her and at least go straight up. Well-timed repel there, although doesn't really matter. Rengar has too much damage. Rengar just has way too much damage. It was well-timed because it was right as Rengar went in.
Yeah.
Hit her, and she went straight up, and that already gave him turret aggro. So he took a...
Nemes probably could have waited a little bit longer before propelling himself up into but given the burst that Rengar puts out, you can't really blame him for trying to get out of there as fast as possible.
Rengar is even bullying Sejuani, who's supposed to be their tank.
Supposed to be the tank, but...
So, Rengar is going to be a dominant force this game.
Definitely.
He's already 2-0. He's
2-0.
Just backed.
He's sitting pretty high up on CS. Although Nemes is definitely doing a good job of keeping up, given the aggression that is being put on him.
It's definitely really big. I mean, a big Rengar can mean a lot for a team. You can kill any... Jinx gets fed, Rengar's going to be able to kill her. You can get on her, you can do all the damage before Jinx has any time to lifesteal anything back off of him. So, it's going to bring a lot. It's going to be a huge
I also see that without Oracles being in the game anymore, suddenly Rengar ulting in is that much harder to spot.
It's very hard to see coming in. Shyvana is going for her Sunfire Cape from EdgeWorth. It's Shyvana. And Elise has got her Chain Vest as well to deal with Rengar. Both top and mid lanes are having a little bit of trouble with their laning partner. And they get a huge engagement in her on Annie, and that is going to be really easy. Powerful ultimate from Meow. It's very powerful ultimate from Leona. Just stuns, and then she gets more stuns and stuns on stuns. So, I mean, it's currently 5-1 already for EdgeWorth.
Yet, somehow, MJ isn't too far behind in terms of gold. We have another fight breaking out here. Looks like...
But Sejuani's here to stop it, but Agony's Embrace is going to slow them down. They're not going to know what to do. Are they going to be able...
The Riven ultimate giving so much more extra attack damage, putting out...
She missed the Wind Slash. And there comes the Jinx ultimate, which is going to do a lot of damage, and Riven is going to come out with the double kill.
There it is.
That... Missed the Wind Slash, but Sejuani brought enough disruption and tanked enough damage that Riven was able to get the 2 kills. And similar to Rengar, if Riven gets big...
We now have 2 bursty champions that are really getting fed.
Huge damage threats.
Definitely.
From the enemy team. From Team OPMJ. So, now we've got a bit of a situation on our hands, because Rengar is big, but so is Riven, and both are just as strong champions, and Elise was like, I'm going to cocoon you and do my normal thing, but nah, you're Rengar, never mind, I'm not actually going to fight you, I'm just letting you know I know where you are.
Rengar building a lot of health, but he's also got a Negatron poke in there, obviously, to deal with the magic damage that Elise puts out.
This turret is going to go down probably pretty quickly. I mean, Rengar's got his double Q, which does loads of damage to turrets. He pushes those things down really fast. So...
It looks like he's going to save it and try to farm up and be as fast as try to get as big as he can.
At least trying to make a fight happen because Sejuani's coming in. They want to shut down Rengar, putting out damage. Up goes the repel, so Rengar can't even try to kill Elise in return.
There, he's ulting out of there. But
trying to get some weird juke.
It looks like they're onto him.
They're onto him, but he wasted enough time for Shyvana to get there, so they get the kill on to Elise.
And it looks like he's going to make it.
Evelyn came there in time, and Evelyn gets the kill on Sejuani. That was a great rotation. Great way of collapsing, and in the bottom lane they put huge damage onto Annie, but...
Welmeow goes down.
Welmeow goes down from the Jinx
using
ultimate.
Tigris to tank the calling there.
The calling, yeah. Very powerful plays from both teams. Got kills, but overall, EdgeWorth played that really well. I mean, it was a great way for Rengar to kill time, for Shyvana to come up. And when Evelyn gets there, Evelyn just has so much damage built into her that he was able to turn that fight around. It was very strong.
You can definitely see very good communication on part of Team EdgeWorth.
Definitely very strong. And from both teams, we got a very interesting game going on. We got an 800 gold lead, about 700 gold, more like, for EdgeWorth right now. Which is big, but...
It's not that big at the point of the game where it is. It looks like Rengar is coming in.
Rengar's coming in, but he doesn't have his ultimate. His ultimate is down, so... It's not gonna... It's hard to force something like that, but Shyvana's taking a lot of damage there in the mid lane.
She's really having problems with that Riven. That Riven just...
It's too strong.
Too strong.
And Sejuani, to look at the different builds from the junglers here, what I'm finding interesting is Sejuani has rushed Boots of Mobility.
Right.
She can get off of base and get to wherever the fight is very quickly. And then Koshi, playing Evelyn, hasn't got anything yet. He's got his boots, and he's got his Spirit of the Elder Wraith, I believe it's called. But, interesting build, because Evelyn usually goes for the Lizard Elder.
Yeah.
So,
but Lizard Elder now being different, they it no longer has the lifesteal, or sorry, the Spellband.
Yeah, so I'm surprised. I'm surprised he went for Spectral Wraith as opposed to the Lizard Elder item. And they get a hold of Annie. They're going to put a lot of damage.
But
they're going to get Annie in return for that, or not. Oh, he gets the dash, so that's going to be enough to kill Annie. And Forgotten's going to go in.
Definitely doing a lot of damage.
Oh, the Culling's going to do a lot of damage, but
it looks like Zaya Slayer is just too far.
Something that a lot of Jinx players need to learn is how to not die. When you don't have Peel like it, you don't have Caitlyn's Caliber Net, you don't have Lucian's dash, you don't have Graves' quick draw, you don't have even Vayne's tumble. You don't have things like that. You really have to be on your game with being able to peel for yourself, because she only has the chompers. And just being able to have really good positioning in every team fight. Because if people catch you, you're dead. Very easily. And just as fast as bottom lane as EdgeWorth turret went down, they take down Team OPMJ's turret.
And I noticed with what you were saying earlier, with Rengar being able to take turrets so fast, he was left in top lane alone long enough, and Elise just couldn't deal with that Rengar burst on the turrets.
And just like that, now there is a turret lead for Team EdgeWorth, and that brings it up to a
1K lead,
an exact 1K lead. So very big. They're looking to Dragon now. Definitely looking to rotate around to Dragon. Do they? Maybe they want to try to fish something out of this.
Now, I wonder how this is going to play out, because there are no pink wards and no red totems on part of EdgeWorth. It looks like they're going to try to bait things out. The entire team is hanging out down there in bot lane. We have 3 people hiding in the bush. Looks like Leona's going to...
Or no, maybe they're going to engage. I think they're going to engage. That's what they were waiting for. They wanted to see if someone was going to come for Baron, or Dragon. No one came for it. But they gave him the sense of security, let them push past turret, and there goes Jinx, just like that, between the Zenith Blade. Tries to back, just
he
out of futility. There was no way to get out of that. That was just interesting play from Team EdgeWorth.
EdgeWorth now is in a 4v5, and they can definitely have a good Dragon attempt now.
They can force this Dragon, but as I said, they do have... Team OPMJ definitely has that assassination power. When you have percent of missing health damage, kind of can tilt a lot of odds in your favor if you just put out any amount of damage. One wind slash from Riven, and it could kill a couple of carries and definitely put things in their favor. But just like that, they get dragged.
Riven's overextending, but she's just so nimble. She can easily get out of there.
When
Leona ult coming down, actually.
Just to show Annie, hey, I know where you are. What is she doing?
Wow, just.
But wow,
the team follows up, comes out of nowhere,
flashing in. They
Will
just
it be a
came
double
out.
kill for Forgotten?
No, but Sejuani thought she was going to get out of there. She was like, oh, jeez, I got out of that one all right.
Still there.
EdgeWorth was ready to catch her on the rebound.
Shocking. Flashing in for that kill.
And they're getting a little weak now, but they're doing all right. They're taking the hits, and
this is a 5v3. I think it would be silly for OPMJ to stay around. I think EdgeWorth really could take this tower.
So EdgeWorth definitely flexing some muscles on that one. Definitely showing that. Well, Meow made a huge play there.
Yeah,
that was huge.
I thought he just went mental for a second, but he really changed things around. Well, we have another stun coming.
Another engage that is probably going to kill Meow, who we were just praising her for such a good engage. I think they just got mad and they're like, "You're not allowed to do that anymore. You baited us into that. We're going to kill you." So they get rid of Meow. She doesn't have any kills.
Interestingly enough, we have basically the same build coming out of both AD carries, despite the fact that Zaya Slayer is actually doubling Forgotten CS.
Definitely an interesting thing. I find it interesting that you didn't get the Trinity Force, or they didn't get the Trinity Force.
That is a very good point.
On Lucian, which is very big, but I guess they favored the sustain of a Bloodthirster. And you can always get the Sheen later. The Sheen's not as expensive, so maybe that's what they're going for. Definitely going to do his best to farm up wherever he can. It's going to be an interesting game still. I mean, they're flexing their muscles. They're showing their map control, which is huge. But I still think that OPMJ has some power within them to still pull some interesting team fights. They're getting baited into the wrong fight, but they can still pull something out of nowhere. Tries to go for the stun from Sejuani. She misses it. Evelyn's there, but they didn't realize that Annie was going to be such a big threat to that team fight. But Leona's in.
Very good ult on Meow's part.
Well, Meow manages to come in, but
Forgotten is untouched during that fight. He's just putting up so much damage.
Gets the double kill off the culling onto Sejuani, and is going to chase down Jinx here. Jinx is going to take a lot of damage, but is it going to be enough? Yeah, definitely. When your team's there,
he has the rest of the team there.
Jinx was starting to hurt him a little bit. I was a little skeptical, but this team came in and saved him, and
just like that, you see the gold lead jump up to a little over 4,000 now.
Definitely.
EdgeWorth pushing out on this turret here, and it looks like OPMJ is not there to respond to it, so it will be a turret with last outer turret going down for OPMJ.
Definitely big plays coming out from EdgeWorth. They've gotten the turrets, they've gotten the dragons, they're getting the team fights they want.
And as a result, they're getting the kills, and you can see how far up they're pushing now, and just how intimidating they are in fights.
It's one of those things that I always talk about. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. When you can force the enemy team to do what you want them to do, or force them into a situation like with the Wow Meow ults that none of us saw coming. It's those sort of things that kind of get us to show that they know what they're doing. They know what the enemy team is going to do off of what they did. When she flashed over the wall, they knew it was like, hey, look, what's the support doing? Think she can kill Annie? But that's when they come and they hit them hard, when they think it's going to be easy. And that's proactive playing, and EdgeWorth is doing an amazing job of it.
I think there's also a lot of trust on part of Wellmere when he dives in and he flashes, he blows his flashlight, then he goes in on his own 2v1 or 1v2, sorry, and he's relying on his team to come in and deal with it.
Still pretty good. Very huge plays coming out for her. Great support play. Supports are becoming huge in Season 4. So, lots of damage going out on the Lucian there, but just like that, team's ready to capitalize on it. Oh. And just like that, Jinx is going to die to the red buff burn. And
but see Riven with the high burst, she can definitely sustain it. She goes in. Looks like she did take too much damage, and Shaka's going to deal with it.
And that was a big play for Riven. She might have been able to get out of there. She didn't play the stun or the shield dash right, but she definitely did some good damage, and they're just going to push. They don't even care about the turret. Rengar dies in the top lane to Elise.
Elise, who he's been bullying all game. That's definitely an interesting turnaround in that lane.
What's Elise building? Elise is building tank 2, got the Sunfire Cape, so I guess just the natural percent damage that she does was enough to take down Rengar. Oh!
Very close.
The Jinx ult almost got Shyvana. Might not have killed her. I don't know. I think she's got more health than it looks. But with that, Elise is going to get to free push top. Might get this turret with the attack speed buff.
Looks like she is going to go for it.
She is going to probably take it. No one from EdgeWorth is there, so it's going to try to pull the
Definitely
game.
catching them off guard. And it's plays like this that OPMJ needs to make a comeback into this game.
Brings the gold lead back to about pretty fair 4,500, which is still a lot, but it's not insurmountable. Like 500 gold here, 500 gold there, and you start to get the lead back.
You can definitely come back from that. We're having a bit of a duel down here between
Jinx and
Zaya
Lucian.
Slayer and Forgotten.
Haven't seen much of Forgotten's Lucian, but he's definitely showing that he's got the power. He can use culling to its full potential. The culling was a weird ultimate because it does magic damage. It doesn't scale off attack damage, so it does like this weird. You have it, but it doesn't do as much damage as a lot of your basic attacks.
That's what's definitely so useful with that Trinity Force.
To get that little bit of ability power that makes him do a little bit more damage, and he used it very well in that team fight where he got Sejuani. He's doing a very good job of using everything Lucian has to offer to its full potential. So we can see here, they're
Going
looking
back
to
for
get...
the Dragon. Dragon has spawned very recently, and it looks like OPMJ doesn't have any vision of the Dragon area.
So they're just going to take it down.
Jinx.
Jinx just got vision on it, so now they know they're doing it, but they're just going to push this down and take it out so
It's
fast.
a 5v4. Elise is still sitting back at base. Can't really respond to that.
You can't contest a dragon like that. There's just no way. When you don't have the assassination power to at least take out some of the carries to try to swing the fight in your favor, you just can't do it. I mean, Riven can do all she can, but it's not going to be enough. So, you got Team OPMJ hanging out in their jungle. Looks like they were expecting a team fight.
They were expecting a team fight. I think both teams are. I mean, they're hanging relatively close together up until now anyways.
Everyone's grouping up.
It looks like we're going to have Shocket coming back up top to push out the lane.
But he's going to clear out these wraiths and then going to swing around, I'm guessing. But it's interesting. Do you think that EdgeWorth even wants to engage this? Because, I mean...
I think they do. We have the Leona's Sun coming out, and
Shocket's
coming out from behind. He's definitely going to land.
But the team fight's a little broken up.
It's broken up. There's nobody else following the Shocket onto the...
Zaya Slayer goes down. And Lucian goes down in the back to Elise, but Koshi picks up the kill on Elise, so that kind of evens that out. And it is currently a 3-for-1 for EdgeWorth. So EdgeWorth still coming out on top of these team fights. OPMJ's playing the team fights great. They're doing their best to make it happen, I should say. They're doing a good job with what's happened, because Wellmeow engaged on them again. I think if OPMJ engages on them, they can make a big play, because, I mean, they have Sejuani's ult.
Well, you saw that, but they need to have vision on the entire team. They can't have Shocket coming in from behind them and doing what he just did there.
And that's the power of Shyvana, when she can just jump over everyone to get in on the people she wants to kill.
She has that mobility.
And she can kill who she wants to kill, so... It's definitely interesting predicament for Team OPMJ, because they just don't have... They have the engaged power, but they haven't been able to build on it, because Wellmeow has been doing such a good job of counter-engaging with her ultimate, or just straight-up engaging before they do with her ultimate. And it catches them off guard, because they're under tower, and they just don't know how to handle it. So, the gold lead has now spiked up to about 6. About 7. Yeah, so... Starting to run away with this. EdgeWorth is getting way ahead now.
Yeah, you can definitely see with some of the items that are coming out on the side of EdgeWorth, should I say?
It's definitely an interesting situation for OPMJ, because I mean, in reality, they're not tanky. They're not a very tanky team, EdgeWorth. I mean, Rengar's got some tank because he's got his Sunfire Cape, and Shyvana's got. No, I'm sorry.
I'd also like to note here, with what you're saying, with the tankiness of the Rod of Ages that Leona has.
Leona has a Rod of Ages?
She has a Rod of Ages. She's definitely focusing as much damage as is possible. Ooh, looks like Rengar getting cut out here. Barely missed by the Jinx ultimate. And he actually makes it out alive.
Perfect peel by Whelmeow from that ultimate. That was a well-placed ultimate. Got the stun, not the slow. Because if it's the slow, she still might have been able to do the leap.
Yeah.
So, definitely worked out really well for them. See,
OPMJ following up with this with a push on mid turret, and I really think that they're going to be able to get it. Rengar is such a strong force, and he's not there to help them.
Rengar, Leona's dueling, at least in the top lane there.
Rod of Ages.
That Rod of Ages is working out. Apparently, AP Leona is the new thing. And they managed to get them off their turret, but they didn't know what to expect when they came into here, and Riven just blows up Evelynn. Culling just blows down Riven, though. And at least he's going to try to get out.
It looks like they overextended. It looks like overextended a little bit here.
And Sejuani's getting in with the jump, and Rengar comes in on the back line. It's a weird team fight because they're kind of all taking damage, but nobody's dying.
Waiting for some
actual action. Well, I mean, they're all taking damage. It's exciting. I don't know what to say.
Missed ultimate. There we go. Shocket finally going down.
And there goes Elise. Freeze and Chill gets the kill. And he's going to try to jump onto Annie here. Use the Blade of the Rune King. Lucian gets it. And the Jinx all could have been a double kill. Doesn't get it. And
looks like Slayer is going to be taken out. And EdgeWorth manages to turn it around.
That was really well played by OPMJ. They could have gotten the double kill with that Jinx ult right there, and it would have been an easy
Freeze and Chill just coming in at the right nick of time. And EdgeWorth is going to try to make an inhibitor out of this.
Easily could be an inhibitor. The death timers are, well, at least get the inhibitor turret, I should say. Riven's going to try to turn in on this. Her ultimate's back up already.
Wow,
Riven! Crazy damage. Wind Slash is going to kill one, and that
is it the triple? No, it's not.
Only the double.
Turns it around. Anyways, probably worth on the worth for OPMJ.
Making something out of nothing.
Yeah, definitely probably saved the turret.
Turned up what was a 3v1, I think. No, it was a 4v1.
It was a 3v1.
Because they got the double kill. Right there. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. They only have him sacrifice one to get more than one kill in return.
Yeah.
So, Riven did a good job making most of it.
OPMJ is coming in for a Baron attempt.
Definitely. I can see that. I mean, just
looked like they were all heading for it, but
they're just hanging around, seeing where the enemy team was. I mean, you don't want to try to contest it, even if they don't have the numbers. I mean, if they're going to throw in one attack, it just takes that one attack for them to take it, and it takes all 5 of you to hurt it in the first place. So, you don't want to risk a Baron like that when someone can steal it with one ultimate or something like that. Elise is coming in. I'm not sure. I'm sure they want to kill Evelynn, but
she's surprisingly tanky. The way that she dealt with that Rengar earlier, when we've seen them duel, I'm surprised with how much damage she did and how little damage she took. And I feel like Rengar was also surprised with that. So I think he's very confident. Culling coming out.
Culling coming out.
In a
hitting a
manner,
lot on Riven, but it's not going to be enough. Riven's like, I'm killing you, Lucian. Lucian's dead, just like that. She's gonna get out of there with the shield. Get out of there. And just like that, they're gonna keep pushing. OPMJ's turning around these team fights.
Is in a great position to
Riven comes back
right
and
now.
Flips it.
And are they gonna go for it? Looks like
and Jinx is gonna get hold of them in the top lane. She's gonna die to Rengar, but it takes Rengar away from the Baron fight. So
definitely, I feel like Rengar is a much bigger player. And yeah, there's the Baron attempt coming out.
They're gonna try to push it down. They might not be strong enough though. They have really low health and it's health. It's about to have health, and
they decided against it. Probably a good decision on their part, given the amount of AP that Whelmeow has. Haunting guys coming out.
All that magic pen. Very interesting build here coming from Whelmeow. I mean, it's not something you expect from a tank support, but
that's for sure.
Yes, they're trying to build off the fact that their team isn't very tanky by design. I mean, the only tank items on their team are on Shyvana. And you got the Spirit Visage on Rengar. But other than that, they're not super tanky. I mean, Shyvana's tanky, but you've got Sejuani, who's tanky on the enemy team, and Elise is built tanky as well on OPMJ. So they have more tanks. So the team fights can be in their favor if they play it right and they let the tanks take a lot of damage. So, interesting to see how they didn't want Whelmeow to build as much tank as she probably should have.
Maybe even just get like an Aegis of the Legion.
I'm surprised they made sense. Yeah, you know, that's Lock of the Iron Solar would have been really good, but interesting.
On either team, really.
Both teams would
definitely benefit from it.
Yeah, I mean, as we've seen, the team fights are elongated. They're having a long one, so if you're gonna be in for the long team fight, why don't you make it last as long as you can. Have all that armor, have all that magic resist.
Both teams have a lot of high burst and assassination, but they don't have a lot of cleanup follow-up, per se. They definitely have Lucian, who does a good job cleaning up, but there's another duel coming out here between Shocket and Nia. Not too good
before you, we don't know. But Elise's going to get out of that, but OPMJ's here.
OPMJ coming around to back him up.
To back him up, it's like...
Looks like Shocket is going to go down.
Shocket goes down, and they're not going to chase after Koshi, and Friedenchill killed him. Oh.
Friedenchill's still here. He's trying to get
I didn't even notice.
Elise.
And they're going to try to kill Elise, but Elise jumps up, and he's taking all
the perfect time.
And Jinx gets these 2 kills. Zayslay getting the damage. Now Zayslay is going to be getting big. Riven's still using all that damage that she has. Gets the stun. That's a double kill, and now they should
OPMJ should definitely take a Baron right now. They have high health, and specifically they have Riven to do all the damage, as well as Jinx.
And Jinx to do all the damage. And Sejuani might not be able to tank it as hard as she might want to, but
the sustain, if they do some alternate tanking, here we go, they're going for it.
They're going to try to push this. Jinx and Sejuani for now, and Riven's going to come in. Riven's going to be doing huge amounts of damage, especially since, let's look at Riven's build here. She's got her Bloodthirster, she's got her Black Cleaver, and she's got a Last Whisper. She is killing anyone.
Shredding through all that armor. EdgeWorth doesn't have any vision on that. Oh.
And are they going to try to steal it? They try to steal it, but they couldn't get it in time. So... very, very interesting game coming out of here. It's still a 4,000 gold lead, about, for Team EdgeWorth. But
OPMJ definitely making a good comeback.
That Baron is going to be pretty big. They're going to come in and it's like, oh, well, they took it. Well, now we know when it's up again. But that's pretty big for them. For these, how long does Baron last? 2 minutes, I think? Something like that?
The buff lasts for 3 minutes, I believe.
3 minutes.
And it respawns every 7 minutes.
So, for these 3 minutes, or until they all get killed,
OPMJ definitely has a stronger team fight, and I think that this is what they need to make that comeback in the game.
This is when they can start being proactive. This is what I was talking about, being proactive versus reactive. Now that they have the Baron, they know that they can win the team fight. They can start telling the enemy team, hey, you can't stop us from attacking this turret because we'll beat you in the team fight. Exactly. So you better let us have the turret or we'll just kill you.
Exactly.
And although they might lose 1 or 2 people in the team fight, Riven's already got her Guardian Angel now. So that Baron buff's not going to go away very easily. So...
and they definitely have a lot of dive potential. They have, obviously, the health regen from the Baron buff. But, I mean, Riven can be in there literally until she dies, and then she'll come back up again. And Sejuani is becoming incredibly tanky.
Sejuani here, she's got her buff, the item of the Elder Golem, or whatever it's called, the Ancient Golem. Sunfire Cape. Gonna work on that Randu and Zoman.
She's got the Warden's Mail.
Definitely not, no slouch. She can take the damage, and especially... with EdgeWorth's high AD comp between Lucian and Rengar and Shyvana. So, having that Warden's Mail is going to shut down a lot of their power, so... gotta say, they're going in on Shyvana here, and they
not sure if diving Shocket is a good idea. Shocket is definitely doing very well.
She's still taking those hits pretty hard for a tank. I mean, they get the turret, and they're just going to go in. And they're gonna... oh, gets the flash on that one, gets the knockup, and that's the wind slash. Easy kills, they get the stun from that. Not gonna really be able to save him, but Wellmeow comes over the wall.
Going in.
All that AP.
All that AP, but it looks like it didn't help him too much.
Wow, so much damage. Riven in the middle of this, putting out a lot of damage, getting the kills.
Forgotten hanging out in the back. He's doing some pretty good damage, but it looks like the rest of his team just died too fast for him to do anything to follow up with.
That was huge. Wellmeow wanted to make that happen, but he just couldn't. I mean, once Rengar was out of that team fight, that goes a lot of their damage that they can put onto their carries. Like, if they wanted to kill Riven, Rengar probably would have been the one to do it. If they wanted to kill Jinx, Rengar probably would have been the one to do it. But you take Rengar out of the fight immediately, they don't have that assassination power. They didn't even get through Riven's Guardian Angel. She just stood in the middle of that, and she just kept hitting people. And I've noticed, whatever his name is, Jimenez for you, whatever. I'm sorry if he ever watches this and he hates that I can't say his name. Hopefully he doesn't blame me. But he's doing an amazing job with Riven. If you watch him in the team fights, he's saving that last Q, the last broken wings, to get the knockup on as many people as he can. And it's swaying the team fights. It's making the most of the CC that Riven has. Because
the more hard CC you can put up is the better, obviously. Coming and turning around, and he just shreds Wolf Shredder. I think that Wellmeow really needs to adapt to a new playstyle where she can't flash in over a wall and engage on the enemy team. She really needs to maybe even save that ult for a defensive purpose.
And that was just great peel there from OPMJ to get away from that, because they got the kill on Lucian. If you saw, Jinx landed the ultimate. It blew up on Wow Meow, but hit Lucian. And as we said, that percent of missing health blew him up. He was gone. Especially as we get later and later into the game, it's like if you have, 1,000 health, that's like a third of my health left. It's still doing this huge percentage of missing health. That 2/3 that you're missing makes it a huge explosion of damage. And it can easily kill an AD carry or Rengar even. So it's going to be pretty big. I haven't been talking about Evelyn much. I don't think Evelyn's been putting out the damage as well as she should, as well as she could be. I mean,
no, she definitely could be making more plays. She could. I feel like she should be diving into the back lines more. But at the same time, she definitely gets bursted down by the high amount of damage that OPMJ puts out. EdgeWorth is coming in. I believe this is their 4th or maybe even 5th dragon. They've been getting them consecutively.
And Shyvana tries to get it, or Sejuani, tries to get it, and she doesn't. But they're going to try to make a team fight out of this, especially because Evelyn's got low health. Koshi doesn't know what to do. Huge try to counter.
Great ult coming out from Wow Meow.
But it's not enough, as the culling is going to put out damage. But OPMJ is just huge in this team fight. But Rengar on the back line is getting kills on all their carries. And Guardian Angel comes down, but that is a 4 for 3.
So there aren't going to be too many plays coming out after this.
No, it's 3 for 3. Sorry, at least his icon looked like it was out, but no, it's 3 for 3. So Elise and Riven survive, which are 2 very potent champions from OPMJ, and Rengar and Lucian survive. So they killed all the off people, I feel. Like, they got rid of their bruiser, which is Shyvana. They got rid of their jungle carry, which was Koshi, with Evelyn. And they got rid of Wow Meow with her Leona, because, I mean, like,
she's not too tanky. It looks like she's finally trying to turn that around. She picks up a Giant's Belt. No, definitely a good idea. I feel like she should be focusing on getting more tanky as opposed to damage.
Definitely, for sure. And interesting team fights really could go either way at this point. The gold lead has now been squished to 400 gold.
At this point in the game, that is a very close difference, and they might as well be even.
It's almost negligible at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Riven has all her items. That 400 gold means nothing to her. That's a red pot. So, does she have full build? I think.
Well, it looks like Lucian's just hiding over here, trying to make some plays. He's got what is that? Evelyn's coming around the bottom
there.
But
with Evelyn, gonna try to make something happen, but I don't think anything's gonna happen there onto Elise. Especially when you're really that squishy and you got a off tank Evelyn. So it's more like it's like an off damage Evelyn. So
I would definitely like to see either one of the teams sell off all their warding trinkets and pick up some of the red trinkets instead, and just get some crazy amount of vision and maybe a second sight stone on their team, and just totally cash off the other team.
Is that for OPMJ? Or?
Either team would be very exciting and a great way to change plays.
Definitely could swing things to get control of the map. Something that is harder to do in Season 4 because of the warding limits. But there is a huge engage coming in the jungle there. Huge damage coming out from EdgeWorth, putting out damage on Sejuani, but Riven just kills Lucian in the back lines, and Riven's going to be able to turn this around. That's a double kill for Riven right there, and Shyvana's going to try and kill him. She has no health.
Rengar diving in there. Shyvana goes down. And, wow, OPMJ turning just absolutely using that really strong team comp in their favor there. They're definitely just naturally tankier.
It's their
just
position.
Put out more damage.
I honestly feel it's their positioning. It's the fact that Riven is killing the right person. Every time Jimenez for you is attacking the right person, is not only because attacking the right person doesn't just kill them and hurts them a lot, but it pushes them out of the fight. Whether you kill them or not, it completely stops them from being able to hurt whoever they want to hurt. And that's the powerful thing about Riven, is that if she gets strong, not only is she powerful, she's tanky in herself because she got the cooldown reduction. That shield's up every 4 seconds.
Look how much that shield is holding her for a good 400 damage, and it looks like OPMJ is going to try to finish it off, but I think they may have bitten off a bit more than they could chew.
I don't know. They got good damage coming in, and just like that, they've scared off Wow Meow. They got the double kill on that, and there is the turret. Game 1 goes to OPMJ. We would not have seen that one coming about
Definitely
20
not.
minutes ago.
20 minutes ago, it was definitely in EdgeWorth's favor. They had great control over the dragon. They had some really good ganks coming out, but here we are.
Just shows you that a powerful Riven can be almost unstoppable. And I mean, Rengar was doing his best. They were doing a great job, but they just couldn't do it in the same way that OPMJ can do it late game. So, GG's well played, and we're on to game 2.